This will be a good report. Over to you, Comrade. Treasurer General.
Isolate. Africa. Isolate. Africa. Comrade, may I just check with the House? Is it possible that we just get one revolutionary song so as to gear myself when I present this report?
Can I stop the Comrade Treasurer General? Very much out of order. He wants us to be the rally. We want a report.
Okay. No, fine, President. Comrade President, members of the NEC, of PAYCO, leadership of PASMA, distinguished guests, and members of PAYCO in general. I'd like to thank the opportunity that I'm given here to stand in front of you and narrate the report and the expenditures that PAYCO incurred from the period of 2005 July till June 2007. Comrade, I must say that this report seeks to reflect on fundraising activities that were carried out and resource mobilization that were carried out by PAYCO. Sons and daughters, allow me to indicate that the past 3 years, it has been a great experience for me, both politically and for my personal development. To lead this majestic institution like PAYCO, it has not been an easy path. We had some challenges, we also had some battles, we had some victories and achievements, but till this far, we have managed to rise to the occasion. Moreover, members of the PAYCO NEC have showed tremendous solidarity, devotion, commitment, sacrifices that are financially attached and that are time-related in ensuring that PAYCO achieve its objective. Without wasting any time, Comrade, I will also try and summarize my report. I won't read it for you because I believe, comrades, I am empowered enough to read. Let me just give you the synopsis of the report. Let's start with the monthly contributions, comrade. On our very first year, in terms of the office within the finances, we advocated that members should contribute on monthly basis, be it a contribution in a form of pledging for whatever amount that comrades can afford. And I am very pleased to announce that to you, comrades, that members of PAYCO, they responded to the call, and we had almost 80% of PAYCO members responding to the call or forwarding their monthly contribution. And this has assisted us a lot, comrade, in ensuring that our youth political programs are advanced. While on the other side, members of the NEC have consistently carried out the burden of traveling costs, communication costs, accommodation, and even administrative costs of their respective departments. Furthermore, comrade, we go to the donation. We managed to receive donation from former PAC progressive and successful businessmen and women, members of the Defense Force, ex-APLA members, PAC veterans, PAC councillors, and etc. We also received donation from people who sympathizes with PAYCO, and we also, these donations were in kind and others, they were in terms of material, others were on issues of transport and accommodation. With regards to the external donation, comrades, we did not receive much from the public in general, with the focus around the business community. However, attempts were made, comrades, to try and seek for donation or funding from these comrades. And we did not succeed on that. And this has been my challenge, or our challenge as PAYCO, to try and attract the business community to buy into funding our political programs. With regard to grants and funding, PAYCO has been robust in its approach to seek for funding for its program. We even managed to secure funding of $300,000 US. This funding came from an organization that is called Uhuru Movement. However, this funding, comrade, was then redirected or shifted to PAC so as to strengthen our mother body party activities and relation with the International Socialist Organization or parties. 236 comrades have been placed in different capacity building programs which were aimed at improving their political muscle and to improve on issues that we need to debate and engage ourselves at a political level. These comrades were placed in various institutions such as national NGOs, international NGOs, and various government departments. With regard to the assets of PAYCO, it is a great feeling to report to you that, comrade, PAYCO has made a history during its term of office. We have successfully managed to establish 2 companies that Comrade President alluded on his speech during the first session. These companies, comrades, are Inyanga and the second one is Redlex. These companies are 100% owned by PAYCO and they shall remain the entity of PAYCO. The 2 companies are established purely on the basis of easing the burden of raising money for the youth movement as well as to sustain the organization, with a strategic goal of seeing PAYCO not being influenced by external donors. These two companies are valued to an amount of 5 million rand jointly, and it is my hope and my desire to see these companies being nurtured and being given the attention that they deserve. Maybe let me move, comrades. Let me go to the liabilities. Again, comrades, PAYCO has showed that it believes on the self-reliance model as advocated by Professor Sobukwe. Currently, PAYCO has not debt or does not owes any microfinance institution, which this is the positive note for the people who will be coming to the NEC. With regard to the challenges that we encountered, challenge number 1, we were unable to attract business community to support our programs. Another challenge is that we were unable to carry the total cost of running our political youth movement, as we have heard that most of the party programs were funded by PAYCO members and the NEC members. Moreover, another challenge, we have also failed to popularize and to get the buy-in from other PAYCO members to fund PAYCO activities. Hence, we keep on saying we as the NEC and the PEC, we've been carrying the cost of running this organization. Another challenge that has been cited by Comrade Secretary General is that we were unable to employ a full-time PAYCO administrative personnel. Another challenge that we encountered was that we experienced a lack of support from PAYCO members in supporting the newly formed companies. I remember at one stage we organized a gala dinner in respect of Nyati Pokela, but to my surprise, there were very few PAYCO members who were available there. Instead, the function, it was attended by ex-APLA members and people from outside. No PAYCO person appeared on that, and I'm really disappointed on that, comrade. Okay, the other one, it is the negative perception about the NEC members being unable to account on funding donated to the NEC. I would also explain to this comrade to say, the time we started this issue of the debit order system, people were reluctant and they were asking many questions to say, are we going to be able to account? Are we not going to shower this money in our corners and the parties that would normally organize? So this perception, comrade, I think the next coming NEC, it would have an ability to address it and overcome it. My recommendations, comrade. Recommendation 1 is that PAC must improve its political image so as business community would fund the mother body, and that will assist in easing the burden of carrying the PAYCO programs. Number 2, is that these PAYCO entrepreneurs, they need to be nurtured, comrade. And then recommendation number 3 is that PAYCO leaders should be trusted and members should support the call from the NEC members in terms of assisting PAYCO programs. Before we go to the conclusion, comrade, let me take you through the income and expenditure statement. As you can see that this statement, it starts from June 2005 to June 2007. It was prepared by myself. And the very first column, we deal with the income. With regard to the pledges or the monthly contributions, comrade, we managed to make an amount of 96,735.6 cents. There's an error there. I've made 00. It was a typing error, comrade. And then with regard to the donations, comrade, that we received from outside, we managed to receive a donation of 6,540. And with regard to the grants, we managed to get the grants that amounts to 15,000 rands. And with regard to fundraising generally, we managed to raise 57,000. And then in total, the amount that PAYCO managed to raise during the past 3 years is 275. With regard to the expenditures, expenditure 1 is the bank charges, comrade. We have spent almost 3,548 cents on the bank charges. And then with regard to provincial PAYCO congresses, we have spent 8,253. With regard to, that is the Youth Economic Conference. And then with regard to provincial PAYCO Congress, we spent 6,326.18 cents. And with regard to PASMA Congresses, we have spent 5,841.20 cents. Around communication, we have spent 34,694.50 cents. And in accommodation for comrades, we have spent 30,953 rand.30 cents. And with regard to meals for comrades, we have spent 5,470.57 cents. And traveling, it was 15,491.63 cents. And with regard to cross visits that the comrades they've been explaining to say they've went to, we have spent 20,600 rands. And these cross visits are outside, and the cross visits that comrades were coming to visit us in terms of us hosting them, we have spent 10,289 rand.56 cents. With regard to Inyanga, we managed to give Inyanga 5,000 rands for kickstarting its program, and for Redlegs, we have spent 3,000 rands. With regard to the NEC meetings, we have spent 7,000 rands, and for trainings and workshops, we have spent 4,000 rands. And then for the Nyati Pokela Talatina, we have spent 3,000 rands as an extra money that we forwarded to Redlegs. And then with regards to June 16 event, we have spent 1,500 rands, because you'd notice that at one stage PAC changed in terms of adhering to the agreement to say that they will fund this program. So we ended up improvising and put some money which amounts to 1,500 rands so as to advance the June 16 rally. With regards to lobbying for PAC congresses, we have spent 8,000 rands. The total money that we have spent at comrade, it's 172,920.42 cents. And with regards to deficit, comrade, we do not have any deficit. Comrade, allow me to conclude this report by saying, comrade, I would like to thank all the members of the NEC, of PAYCO, the PEC, and the general membership of PAYCO for supporting us during our term of office. I would like to say to you, comrade, continue to support even the next coming NEC. Isolate. Yeah, Africa.
Mafrika, my stress has been reduced a bit. The guys who are catering are already here. They are preparing for us to eat. So in that process, we'll deal with these issues in twofold. before we deal with the issues of food, we will just ask the clarity-seeking questions. You still have time, comrades. Even if we break, we still have to wait because they are still busy. So we'll have the clarity-seeking questions. Then after that, we'll break and we'll identify the issues. We'll adopt the report or not adopt the report. Then we will identify issues of discussion. Then we'll break. We'll deal with the issue of issues of discussion after we are full and we can speak with more energy. Clarity-seeking questions. Comrade, 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 comrade. I've got 4 hands. Can they follow in that sequence? I think comrade, come closer to me. I feel more safer when you are nearby. The volume is very low, although I understand your situation. The air is not so full anymore, but try to raise the...
Thank you for the direction. I just want, maybe it is possible just to bring this into the issue of the money that you have spent in Plasma. Actually, I just want to understand what exactly...
On what? On what, yes.
Spending on.
Thank you. Comrades, I've pointed you in that sequence. I expect you to stand up in that sequence. You saw how who was following who. Or otherwise I will break this chain. Hit, comrade.
I just want to know what are these 2 companies manufacturing.
Okay. Okay.
Also following from the 2 enterprises owned by PAYCO, there been any income record of that far? If the release of arms.
Okay. Companies.
You are soft, Mafrika, now. You are soft. Please raise.
So it's 1.8. This is 1.8.
Africa's Treasurer General.
Okay. Let's start with the first question with regard to PASMA. This money on PASMA Congress, 6,326 rand, 0.18 cents. This money, comrade, it was mainly used by NEC members when they are traveling to PASMA congresses, when they are staying there, when they are eating there. So basically it's for the NEC members, not for PASMA members. It was used by NEC members when they attend to PASMA congresses. And then with regards to question number 2, what are these companies? These companies, it's Inyanga, it's Redlex. Now let's start with Inyanga. Inyanga it's a company that is responsible for, I don't know whether comrades have seen these CDs and these DVDs, particularly let's take one CD up around the Saragalala city. I don't know whether comrades they know it. That is one product of Inyanga. So we are in that industry. We are distributing CDs, we are distributing DVDs and so forth. And then with regards to Redlex, like I made an example that we had the Nyatipokela function. So it's a management event company that seeks to organize events and raise money out of that. And then with regards to the second question, the $300,000.
Before, comrade, you go to the second question, I think just to add on the second question, taking the opportunity to advertise. Redlex, over and above managing events, which are bashes and parties, it also organizes leadership training and such. So we are hoping that SRCs will start employing us. As you see, normally you guys employ these charterists to come and do the strategy workshops, to come and do your leadership training. That's the business that we are looking at. The biggest business we are looking at is campuses. We want to manage that freshers board and actually contract the people. So get into the scale, not some small short private party. We want big things. We can stage it for you in Redlex. In Inyanga, that microma that we were talking about, it should come from there, the stickers, it's a broad business, anything that comes through. Thank you.
I think we should allow the treasurer to flow.
Okay, fine. Okay, thanks, John. But there was no order. And then with regard to the $300, the $300, when you convert it, it gives you 1.8 million, comrade. And then this money, comrade, we valued it in a form of DVDs, your Uhuru DVDs, your CDs, and the material, content material that was given to the mother body to strengthen its political muscle. And then with regard to, there was a question around the PAYCO lobbying group that spent at 8,000 rands. Comrade, if you remember well, last year we had a congress of PAC. And within that congress of PAC, comrade, PAYCO played a major leading role in terms of lobbying, in terms of engaging both the mother body and other substructures. So this is the money that was used specifically for that arrangement, comrade. I don't know whether there are any questions, Chief.
I think just to add, although the order that was given, I don't think that is an order. You will come through, comrade. Let me just clarify something that might assist you. Maybe you're going to follow up on the question that you've asked.
Which one, John? Or the income within the companies?
Before you come in terms of the $300,000 is not the cash that came into PAYCO's account. It's the value. He said it, but I can see what the comrades think. It's the value of the pledges that we got from the U.S. that are still coming through, that are accrued, will still come through, continue to come through during the current NEC, in terms of how much would it cost us to buy those things. And it's those DVDs that we are selling, particularly of the PAC Congress and Sierra Leone project.
Okay. And then with regard to the income, comrade, yes, the companies, they've made income. I know one of Red Legs, they've made some income, comrade, but we did not prepare that statement for this meeting on the basis that the companies are still operational. They've not even finished their financial year. And as you know, companies are required to be audited. So on those bases, comrade, I would not divulge to say how much these companies they've made. Up until PricewaterhouseCoopers, they've audited these companies.
I could see hands at the back. Is there any round of hands? Let's hopefully is the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can we follow in that sequence that I pointed you, comrade? To the point. Not discussion. We'll have an opportunity to discuss. Questions. Clarity-seeking questions.
I think how
Okay, Jenny. Okay. Second question.
Go ahead, comrade. You are next. You are very, very softly, comrade.
Redirection of funds.
Let me handle that one. Mafrika.
Okay.
Comrades, let me ask you to put this 300,000 rands into rest. Mafrika, can you sit down? You've asked the question. I think this is not a show to see how much you can debate or how much you can ask, how much you can handle the heat. But it's a question of information and making the organization to make intelligent decisions. We had an opportunity as the Pan Africanist Youth Congress through our Pan African work that has already been highlighted by the Secretary General, going particularly to the US. As a smart institution, there are things that people can give you as a youth structure. And sometimes you see as a bigger opportunity to require more as a broader movement. So that's what we see here. As I sit here, the President's office is preparing a proposal for a joint venture in agriculture with that party in the US. As I sit with you here, the PAC, no, Mafrica, you said that you want to know about the 300,000. I'm giving you information. Mafrica, can you put your hand down? No. Put your hands down. Comrades are interested in this matter. Question after question is the same issue. I'm assisting comrades to understand, because I do not want this Congress thinking that this NEC, not this Treasurer General, this NEC has misled the Congress and claimed some 300,000 which cannot be shown in practical terms. I'm taking you through practicalities of what we've counted, and we arrive at 300,000. Currently, 2 members of the NEC of the PAC will be going to the US on a speaking tour, on a fundraising tour, that will be starting in October, from the October 21st. That has been organized by PAYCO. Maybe we could have got it as PAYCO, but the advantage of going as a PAC is more appealing, and we can maximize, and it has larger value. So we've taken what we've been nurturing and handed over to the PAC. Comrades, you must remember that we own the PAC. That one we must not forget. It's not a loss to us. It's an investment to us, and we expect it to come back. That's why the Secretary General was crying with disappointment that we invested in lobbying, and it did not come back in the comfort that we expected. We further invested as part of that package this value of 300,000, and hoping that it will multiply beyond us. It will also support other component structures. We are not the only struggling component structure. PAU and APLA veterans and others will tell you the same story that we are telling you. So it's beyond just being selfish and trying to build ourselves, where we get opportunities that we can build the whole. We believe that this valuation is very fair. And very accurate. Some of us work as evaluators of these things. We work with models. We believe that we've used industry-based models. Thank you.
Thanks. With regard to the question around the capacity building program, how did we then? There's a hand.
You will come in, comrade. Sorry, comrade. Comrade Treasurer, let's handle you. Yes, I disrupted you. Apologies on my side. Go ahead, comrade. That's why you are standing up.
What is the difference between traveling and cross-country visits inside Tanzania?
Traveling and cross-country visit inside.
And cross-country visits inside Tanzania.
Okay. Traveling, John. Okay, let's start with that one. The traveling, Mafrica, is the normal traveling that you know. Be it you take a bus or you take a flight or whatsoever, it's a traveling that you know. But the cross-country visit, it is when we are hosting guests. Like if you remember, we had Zimbabwean people who were here. We had Swaziland people who were here. We had your chairman Omali who were here. So those are the cross-country in Noble Sun. Now we move to the secretary, the criteria of selecting people who have went through the capacity building program. This comrade has been communicated through provinces, John. and it is the province that determined to say who's going. Rona, we forwarded a memo requesting comrades to submit names of comrades who are supposed to go for capacity building program, and that's what we got.
Comrade, I do not know if we've exhausted all the questions that have been.
I'm not sure whether it's the question of order, because there's a question of order in the question.
No, the question is in order, comrade. Answer the question. Mafrika, let me take the last two questions, because there's last two hands I see. That one and that, and we close this. Mafrika, I'm quite well versed with procedure. So I think you should relax. Let's get the two questions and we close this matter, and you answer all the questions that are outstanding, which are still on the paper.
Okay. No, it's true, it has a profit.
Louder, comrade. Louder.
This is the last question. Because I heard you were talking about PAYCO having money that we can have our own office. We must go and squeeze ourselves to the PAC head office when there was a 300,000 that was given.
I understand the question.
What kind of money are we expecting at PAYCO? We need money that we take to our ancestors first, some and that is my question. Why you are saying we don't have money when we can see that it's happening inside Australia and outside Australia, they are giving, but the money for the office is not there. Which is the balance that is not accounted.
Thank you, Mafrika. I think we have closed the issue of the question. The Treasurer General will give answers, because some of these issues that we are asking questions we actually want to discuss, and we should have just identified them as issues of discussion. Okay. So not really clarity-seeking questions. Africa Treasurer General, can you conclude and answer those outstanding questions?
Okay. Let me start with the first question in terms of the proof. Comrade, we have the proof. We have the bank statement that will be handed over to the next coming NEC, and we can come and peruse them, John. And then the second question, it was around the deficit. My understanding, comrade, in terms of financial terminologies, deficit means skoloto. And what I'm saying here, and this statement, that's what it's saying. I did not write that, yes, we have a profit. Yes, of course, you are correct. We have the profit, but I did not write it here. And this statement is 100% correct, John. So I do not understand what is it that you are questioning on this statement. And then, what was the last question? Eugene?
No, I will handle the last question.
Okay. I think I've exhausted the questions, John.
Thank you very much. I think I have told the Treasurer General that as accountant number one, I will answer the last question that has been raised. Comrades, can we come back? Comrades, in any venture, you use the tool that gives you the maximum. If we went as PAYCO, probably would have got about, last time we made such a deal, we got 12,000 rand, about $1,000 US dollars. That's what we got. I went to the US, I made a proposal. What they offered me was some 200 CDs. Then I changed the language. I'm telling you this because I had an advantage of being the negotiator. My comrade only arranged that I get there. What I could negotiate when I changed the language and say, look, we have just taken over the PAC. That was in November. We have just taken the PAC a month ago. As PAYCO, we went, we were victorious, we installed our own leadership. So, we want you. We will offer you one. We will train you on security because you are porous, as I saw them. We will, as the PAC, as PAYCO, which security can you offer? Because you need APLA Veterans Association to actually bring that on the table. I look at them and I said, we are a party of which deals with the issue of land. We got ex-combatant who are coming out of prison that we cannot actually put to good use. Some of them go back to jail. How can we work together? Take into account that in the US you've got a political prisoner program as well. Then after discussion we said we can go to agribusiness together. That's why I was telling you that the Office of the President of the PAC is working on the farming proposal that I'm sure that will be approved. I said further, maybe I'm a nice speaker, maybe I'm exciting, but I can bring you the top PAC leaders to you at a cost for your US and Europe. Maybe as PAYCO, they could have thrown a few dollars and give us a trip and a nice place. But once you say PAC leaders are coming, they start guaranteeing you and say that if you bring a leader here, we'll guarantee you that you'll have 10,000 US dollars per tour and you'll have so many tours, depending on the availability of your leadership. So it's a matter of what you put on the table. Do we say that we did not raise that money? Can we just not put it in our books? You should never know about it. I think it's fair for us as politicians that you know that we are doing some work, that we did raise 300,000. It will not come to us because ultimately the last signature will come from the PAC. The PAC will second who actually goes there. For example, we wanted some other people to go on the trip. They sent other people in the wisdom of the party, in maturity of what they thought. But if we had went there to raise that money as PAYCO, I can assure you, we would have had many NEC members going on trip, addressing campuses and that. But negotiating on behalf of the PAC as PAYCO, we could trim more. We could trim what we evaluate as would be a relationship that will give us 300,000 rand at minimum. And I say minimum because it's likely that the amount of business that we'll be engaging in terms of textile, in terms of other issues that we're identifying with, it's much bigger. In terms of the amount that they're going to invest in the elections of the PAC in the next coming election, it's much higher. Comrades, I think we've answered this question. I hope that no one has misconception about what we are saying. We couldn't have got it if we were not selling ourselves as a total package, as a total institution. So it's not to go to PAYCO, does not want money, it give it to the PAC. But it's because together as the total formation we are valued much more than the entities that we belong to, which form the whole. Comrades, I think that the questions have been answered. I will put to the House the question of adoption of this report. May I get a mover for the adoption? The proposal has been put to adopt. Can we give him an opportunity to say what he wants to say? But he must be short. Comrade, can you hold? Comrade, can you speak?
Comrade, I support the adoption. I think we want to put the financial statement into proper accounting format. Here in this state, it should be closed surplus. And the currently the Comrade was asking a question about so it should be surplus. What I'm saying, I'm adopting this question.
I think that there is not much difference in what is being said in the matter of fact and content. We are saying is seconding, but it's just saying that we must write it with a thick pen that we had a surplus. Is there any objection? Are you objecting, comrade, to your platform? Africa, I think that objection is really small. You can calculate. There is 175, there is 2,000, and the account reflected that as far as the books closes when the appropriate term of this nonsense. So that objection, we will not take it serious. Is there any serious objection? No intimidation, comrade. Comrade, you have adopted the report. Can we quickly identify issues of discussion and go to it? Without discussing them. Hit them straight. Comrade? Comrade, just hit the point. Companies.
I want the House to discuss financial relationship between the company structure and
Comrade, those are the two issues under discussion when we come back. Mafrek. Mafrek, I want the financial report. I think it belongs elsewhere, what you are adding. Thank you, comrades. Can we take this opportunity to break? Send my apologies on behalf of the NEC for holding you hostage for so long. Let's go and eat.